Good morning. Just an ordinary little ass in Northumbria. Lucky old me. Sorry, I'm going to ask them to go quiet for a moment. My beautiful old monks and sisters singing Gregorian chant. It's actually the Magnificat, Mary's song when she knew Christ was coming. So, take up your cross and follow me each day. Thus saith the Lord. Amen. Just on magic old YouTube, I was listening, and the follow-on song was Ralph McTell singing, yes, with John Williams, the wonderful classical guitarist. Quite recently, 10 years ago, he's now 80 years old, Ralph McTell. It's not actually his real name. I think he's May, Ralph May. Streets of London. No. The point, actually, sorry. It's The Unknown Soldier. Popped up, totally out of the blue, and then followed on to his obviously very well-known song, The Unknown Soldier, or The Unknown Warrior. So at Westminster Abbey in London, there's a grave, and they brought one coffin back, and there's a Menin Gate, I believe, which must be somewhere in Germany. That's all the names, 50,000 names of young men who died in the First World War, etc., etc., the war to end all wars. What I've noticed already, the Gaza Strip is no longer frontline news. The Israelis have just murdered, whatever it is, 8 or 9 United Nations workers, left rotting in their vehicle. Their objective is to drive all Palestinians out of, for me, the Holy Land, Israel, Palestine, whatever. The hard right-wing ones, and I'm not an anti-Semite. I most certainly don't go along with Zionism. I don't want to be anti anything. I want to be for love. Primarily for God. Amen. I made the point at the beginning of this little film of mine that I live in this material comfort. Turn on the gas fire, I don't even have to go and chop trees. I've got heat, I've obviously got fresh, clean drinking water, electrical power, food at a supermarket just nearby, obviously a roof over my head. Well, I've just about got my health. I had 2 big operations on my left knee last year. Well, that requires all the medical team and the nursing staff and the auxiliary staff and the hospital, etc., etc. So there is a very good, it was the Royal National Orthopaedic Hospital, in fact, at Stanmore, one of the world-renowned orthopaedic hospitals available to perform said operation, without which I'd be lying flat on my back most of the time, or on crutches, or in a wheelchair or something. So I'm acutely aware that I'm partaking of the material advantages of the West, Ingerland specifically. I love music. I don't have a musical gift in the sense that, people like Ralph McTell and, for me, Beethoven uh, obviously had to give something to the world. But I can perceive the world as I find it now, cogitate thereupon, so it's cogito ergo sum, not puto ergo sum, for those who know Latin, for what it's worth. Puto is just I think I'll have a currant bun or something, whereas cogito, as in cogitate, is you think deeply about something for a long time. So cogito ergo sum, so the fact that these things up here, the brain, of which every single human being is possessed, I bet there's someone who'll tell me that there's some deformed poor person who was born without a brain. But anyway, every single human being, never mind their colour or background or whatever, it's a God-given gift. This extraordinary machine, which is capable of so much more than most of us ever take advantage of or whatever. There are all these squillions of neurons sitting around in the frontal lobes that are never fully engaged. They're just sitting there waiting to receive messages and record all the senses and etc., etc., etc. So I hope one could have heard the bird song. I can hear them now. So I'm in a peaceful environment. There must be trees and birdies and stuff. I feed my birdies here. So lucky old me. And yet, and of course the Gaza Strip is not the only troubled place in the world. I mean, there's obviously the West Bank and Jerusalem and so on, but I could just go around the world. Sudan, they've just had this earthquake in Myanmar, Burma, and so on and so on. One could just go around the world where there are troubles. Jammu Kashmir, India and Pakistan, and obviously the conflict, Russia, Ukraine, is still very much going on, etc., etc., etc. Christ's words are, take up your cross and follow me each day. Well, so when I'm up for it, my cross is to bring this light of Christ to shine in the darkness in this world in which we live. And that's the darkness in people's hearts. Of those who commit the atrocities, of those who provide the wherewithal. So it's not just a knife anymore, or a sword, obviously. It's these monstrous, massive, modern weapons capable of destroying, well, potentially now the whole of humanity, the nuclear bomb. So I'm not a campaigning type. I don't go in for protests. I don't see the point. The second war in Iraq, well, I believe millions protested. Still went ahead though, didn't it? And, well, over 1 million innocent Iraqi citizens were slaughtered by the West, America primarily, but very much backed up by Britain. The Poodle, Mr. Tony Blair, etc., Mr. George W. Bush, both of whom, those men, should be in jail, arrested, tried and convicted for crimes against humanity. Take up your cross and follow me each day. Well, there has to be that beautiful, everlasting, eternal hope. Not there has to be, there is. Christ will come again. So the best I can do at present, I make these films, well, there we are, I have a very small, very select audience. And just keep on keeping on, really. With the love of God through Christ within. Amen. Daffodowndillies. Cheer the place up, and Mr. Socks, named after Socrates, Greek philosopher. I tell it all to him. Cheerio. Nah.